Hi, so what really is the message, the key fundamental message of Sukkot? We learned that the Sukkah is called a Dirat Arai, it's called a temporary dwelling place. And you'll see that in the festival, everything is impermanent. For example, the schach, the leaves we put on the roof, they're very holy and they remind us of the clouds of glory that surrounded us in the desert. And they're called Tzila de Hemnusa, the shade of Emunah, where we get to just sit with Hashem. But really, next week, once Sukkot is over, we just throw them away. They have no holiness in themselves. And if you take the lulav and the etrog, what's an etrog? An etrog is a lemon, really, but it's so people spend thousands of dollars on an etrog, but as soon as Sukkot's finished, that's it. There's not much you can do with it. It's even more useless than a lemon. You can't really use it in a salad. Maybe you can make jam with it. And then you got the palm frond. What do you do with the palm frond apart from use it as a lulav? And it's cut off from the tree, it's dying. And the arava, the willow, they're dying very quickly. And the hadass, the myrtle, it's also cut off, it's all dying. Everything's impermanent, it's all going. The whole of Sukkot is this idea of temporary dwelling, and this is what our sages teach us. The olam hazeh, this world is. It's just a temporary place that we're meant to be in, and we're not meant to get too connected, too attached to the materialistic acquisitions and desires of this world. Koheles, we read Ecclesiastes on Sukkot, and it's Shlomo Melech, King Shlomo says, Hevel Havalim, Hakol Hevel is futile, it's mist. Hevel really means mist. You can't grasp this world so much. And he got rich, and he had horses and women and power and built buildings, and he said, it's all a waste of time, because that's not what we're created here for. We're created here to have yira, to have a relationship with Hashem. He actually learns a beautiful idea that we have Cain and Abel, Cain and Hevel. So Cain is related to the word kinyan, to acquire something. He wanted to acquire this world and material stuff, but Hevel was Hevel. He was like, Hevel Havalim is mist. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's all temporary. One of my favorite stories about the Chafetz Chaim, the leader of the generation 150 years ago, he was very poor. He didn't have much in his house, but people came from all over Europe to visit him. And one day, a very rich man came from a long, long way away, came to see the Chafetz Chaim and saw his house, which was very sparse. He said to the Chafetz Chaim, "Where's all your stuff?" And the Chafetz Chaim said to him, "Well, where's all your stuff?" So the man said, "Well, I'm just passing through." So the Chafetz Chaim said, "I'm also just passing through." I'm just passing through this world. There's something more important. The more important thing is to just be with Hashem, in relationship with Hashem, and that's what the Sukkah is. The Sukkah is like a Shekhinah compression chamber. It's a divine presence, powerful chamber of God consciousness, and you can just sit and you can just be in it and experience a relationship with Hashem. It's your whole body is in the mitzvah. The Vilna Gaon says there are only two mitzvahs that your whole body is in them. One of them is Eretz Yisrael, and the other one is in the Sukkah. It's the only mitzvahs that you can do while you're asleep. Sleeping in the Sukkah is a mitzvah. I'm asleep and I'm doing a mitzvah. So just to be able to spend time in the Sukkah and just soak up the divine presence and just enjoy this mitzvah of I'm just being held in God's beautiful embrace. The Arizal says that the Sukkah, you can have a Sukkah with two walls and a little bit. It looks like a hug. Hashem's hugging us. So let's just go and sit and hang out with Hashem in divine consciousness and realize, let's stop chasing the pleasures of this world and tap into the real true pleasure of having a deep intimate relationship, of just being palpably consciously aware of Hashem's presence in our lives. Zat Hashem.